Hi, what's up? Okay. Challenge. Okay. Function expressions. A JavaScript function is not a magical language structure, but a special kind of a value. A function is not a magical language structure, but a special kind of a value. The syntax that we used before is called a function declaration. Function and all that. There is another section, a syntax for creating a function that is called a function expression. It allows us to create a new function in the middle of any expression. In the middle of any expression, like that. Here, we can see a variable, say hi, getting a value. The new function created as a function alert. Here we can see a variable, say hi, getting a value. The new function created as this. Okay, as the function creation happens in the context of, the assignment expression to the right side of equal, this is a function expression. Please know that there is no name after the function keyword. Omitting a name is allowed for function expressions. Here we immediately assign it to the variable, so the value of these code samples is the same. Create a function and put it into the variable, say hi. In more advanced situations that will come across later, a function will be created and immediately called or scheduled for a later execution, not stored anywhere, thus remaining anonymous. Function is a value. Let's reiterate. No matter how the function is created, a function is a value. Both examples above store a function. In the say hi variable. We can even print out the value using alert. Shows the function code. It's just a value. No matter how the function is created, a function is a value. Both examples above store a function in the say hi variable. We can even print out that value using alert. Please note that the last line does not run the function because there are no parentheses after say hi. There are programming languages where any mention of a function name causes the execution, but JavaScript is not like that. In JavaScript, a function is a value, so we can deal with it as a value. It's just a value. The code shows its string representation. The code above shows its string representation, which is the source code. Okay, the code above shows its string representation, which is the source code. Surely a function is a special value in the sense that we can call it like this, but it's still a value, so we can work with it like the other kind of values. We can copy a function to another, bada boom, bada boom, and we can call it, run the code, run the copy, it works, this still works too. Why wouldn't it? Yeah, it should. 日本の食事も楽しみにしています。はい。ちょっと、考えさせてください。Here what happens about in detail the function declaration first creates the function and puts it into the variable name say hi function declaration, that is okay. Line 2 copies it into the variable function, the variable func. Please note again that there are no parentheses after say hi. If there were the function, then function would write the result of the call, say all that into a func, not the function say itself. Now the function can be called as both. We could also have a function expression to declare say hi in the first line. Everything would work the same. Why is there a semicolon at the end? We might wonder why is there a semicolon at the end? It's just like, yeah, you might wonder why do function expressions have a semicolon at the end, but function declarations do not. Yeah, function declarations do not. Yeah, of course they do not, but function expressions do. Yeah, the answer is simple. A function expression is created here. Inside the function expression is created here as this. Inside the assignment statement, let's say semicolon is recommended at the end of this statement. It's not a part of the function syntax. The semicolon would be there for a simple assignment, such as let's say hi 5, and it's there for a function assignment. The semicolon would be there for a simpler assignment, such as let's say hi 5, and it's also there for a function assignment. Callback functions. Let's look at more examples of basic functions as values and using function expressions. We'll write a function ask question yes no with 3 parameters: question, text of the question, yes, function to run if the answer is yes, no, function to run if the answer is no. Yeah, the function should ask the question. Function should ask the question, and depending on the user's answer, call yes or no. Function ask question yes or no. If confirm yes, if confirm is yes, okay, true, then yes, we're gonna execute, otherwise yeah. function function do you agree? I do agree. You agreed. はい。英語や音声は問題ないでしょうか？はい、大丈夫でしょう？大丈夫ですよ。大丈夫ですよ。大丈夫です。ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。いや、こちらこと。ちょっとよろしくお願いいたします。参りました。वैसा मेरा उतना पढ़ता है क्या ही उतना चलता है। Callback functions. Let's look at more examples. Passive function and the values using function expressions. Well, write a function. Ask question years and with 3 parameters like that. Okay. The function should ask the question, and depending on the user's answer, call yes or no. In practice, such functions are quite useful. The major difference between a real life ask and the example above is that real life functions use more complex ways to interact with the user than a simple confirm. In the browser, such functions usually draw a nice looking question window, but that's another story. The arguments show okay, show, cancel of ask or called callback or just callbacks, callback functions or just callbacks. The idea is that we pass a function and accept it to be called back later if necessary. In our case, show okay. In our case, show okay becomes the callback for yes answer, and show cancel for no answer. We can use function expressions to write and like short a function. Ask function that do you agree? If yes, then like you agreed. If no, then well, we can use function expressions to ask this like that. Okay. Here, functions are declared right inside the ask call. They have no name and so are called anonymous. Such functions are not accessible outside of ask because they are not assigned to variables. But that's just what we want here. Such code appears in our scripts very naturally. It's in the spirit of JavaScript. A function is a value representing an action. Regular values like strings or numbers represent the data. A function is a value representing an action. Okay, it represents an action. Regular values like strings or numbers represent the data. A function can be perceived as an action. We can pass it between variables and run when we want. We can pass it between variables and run when we want. A function expression versus function declaration. Let's formulate the key differences between function declarations and expressions. Formulate the key differences between function declaration and expressions. First, the syntax, how to differentiate between them in the code. Function declaration, a function declared as a separate statement, in the main code flow. For the function expression, function created inside an expression or inside another syntax construct. Here the function is created on the right side of assignment expression less sum. Statements, expressions, function expression less sum of function a b written a plus b. The more subtle difference is when a function is created by JavaScript and a function expression is created when the execution reaches it and is usable only for that moment. Once the execution flow passes to the right side of the assignment, let's sum blum. Here we go. The function is created and it can be used assign call from now on. The function declarations are different. Okay, like function expression is created when the execution reaches it and is usable only for that moment. Once the execution flow passes to the right side of the assignment, let's sum function. Okay, here we go. The function is created and can be used assign call etc. From now on. Function declarations are different. A function declaration can be called earlier than it is defined. Shut up. A function declaration can be called earlier than it is defined. For example, a global function declaration is visible in the whole script, no matter where it is. That's due to internal algorithms. When JavaScript prepares to run the script, it first looks for global function declarations and creates the functions. We can think of it as an initialization stage, and after all, function declarations are processed. That means that the code is executed, so it has access to these functions. For example, there's works. When JavaScript prepares to run the script, due to internal algorithms, when JavaScript prepares to run the script, it first looks for global function declarations in it and creates the function. It's going to create the function. When we think of it as an initialization stage, we can think of it as after all that, and after all function declarations are processed, the code is executed, so it has access to these functions. For example, this works, say boom, the function declaration say hi is created when JavaScript is preparing to start the script and visible everywhere in it. If it were a function expression, then it wouldn't work. That would give an error. Throw an error. Function expressions are created when the execution reaches them. That would happen only in the 9. Okay, too late. Execution reaches them. That would happen only in the line. Too late. Another special feature of declarations in their block scope. In strict mode, when a function declaration is within a code block, it is visible everywhere inside the block but not outside. In strict mode, when a function declaration expression declaration is within a code block, it is visible everywhere inside that block, not outside of it. Coding things. PDT. Code block. PDT. Sorry. If we use function declaration, it won't work as intended. Okay, but that's in strict mode, right? For instance, let's imagine that we need to declare a function welcome depending on the age variable that we get during runtime. Depending on the age variable, for instance, let's imagine that we need to declare a function welcome depending on the age variable that we get during runtime, and then we plan to use it sometime later. We can, if we use a function declaration, it won't work as intended. Bada boom. Welcome is not defined listening. Hisham Mastan Rosh Kiya Welcome is not defined, okay? That's because the function declaration is only visible inside the code block in which it resides. Here's another example. There's the welcome, okay? If welcome, we are doing that. But runs, function declaration is available everywhere in the code block where it declared hello. Welcome is not defined, which is this, okay? Like here it works, else is not that. Our age is defined to 16 already, set to. We can, like, what can we do to make welcome visible outside here? The correct approach would be to use a function expression and assign welcome to variable that is declared outside of it. If, okay, like, yeah, what can we do to make welcome visible outside of it? The correct approach would be to use a function expression and assign welcome to the variable that is declared outside of it and has a proper visibility. The code also works as intended. This code works as intended. We're using expression of why we're gonna work. Achinango delete things. Delete. Or we could simplify it even further using a question mark upper third. Sorry. Welcome is like that. Okay, if it's that. Is it that? Function expression like that. Bada boom, bada boom. Bada bada ba ba ba. When to choose function declarations versus function expressions. As a rule of thumb, when we need to declare a function, the first thing to consider is function declaration syntax. It gives more freedom in how to organize our code. Because we can call such functions before they are declared. That's also better for readability, as it's function declarations, okay? As it's easier to look up function in the code, then function declarations are more eye-catching. But if a function declaration does not suit us for some reason, or we need a conditional declaration, we've just seen an example. Then function expression should be used. Functions are values. They can be assigned, copied, or declared in any place of the code. They can be assigned, copied, or declared in any place of the code. If the function is declared as a separate statement in the code flow, if the function is declared as a separate statement in the main code flow, that's called a function declaration. Separate statement in the okay. Main code flow. Okay, if the function is created as a part of an expression, it's called a function expression. Function declarations are processed before the code is executed. They are visible everywhere in the block. Declarations are processed before the code is executed. Code block. Okay. They are visible everywhere. The block function expressions are created when execution flow reaches them. In most cases, when we need to declare a function declaration. We need to declare a function. A function declaration is preferable because it is visible prior to the declaration itself. That gives us more flexibility in code organization and usually more readable. So we should use a function expression only when a function declaration is not fit for the task. We have seen a couple of examples of that in the chapter, and we will see more in the future. Para. Okay, arrow functions. I love arrow functions. There is another very simple and concise syntax for creating functions. That's often better than function expressions. Another simple and concise syntax for creating functions. And that's what I love. I love it. I love arrow functions. That's often better than function expressions. It's called arrow functions because it looks like this. It looks like this. This creates a function that accepts arguments arg1, argn, and then evaluates the expression on the right side with the use and return itself. Return is reserved. It accepts arguments, then evaluates the expression on the right side with their use, and return its reserved. What's that? Krishna or Kans? Let's see a concrete example. Example, in other words, it's a shorter version of that. Let's sum a plus b. This arrow function is a shorter form of this. Here, sorry. As you can see, a plus b means a function that accepts two argument names a and b. Upon the execution, it evaluates the expression a plus b and returns the result. If we have only one argument, then parentheses around parameters can be omitted, making that even shorter. If there are no arguments, parentheses are empty, but if there are no arguments, parentheses are empty, but they must be present. Arrow functions are okay. If there are no arguments, parentheses are empty, but they must be present. Arrow functions can be used in the same way as function expressions. For instance, dynamically create a function. Age is that, and welcome, greetings. Arrow function may appear unfamiliar and not very readable at first, but that quickly changes as eyes get used to the structure. They are very convenient for simple one-line actions when we are just too lazy to write many words. Multi-line arrow functions. The arrow function that we've seen so far were very simple. They took arguments from the left of this arrow. I evaluated and returned the right side expression of them. Sometimes we need a more complex function, but my expression in that case, we can enclose them in curly braces. The major difference is that curly braces require that within them to return a value, just like a regular. The major difference is that curly braces require a return within them to return a value, just like a regular function. Just like a regular function. Okay, like that, and then curly braces and return. If we use curly braces, that we need an explicit return. More to come. Here we praise arrow functions for brevity, but that's not all. Arrow functions have other interesting features. To study them in depth, we first need to get to know some other aspects of JavaScript. So we'll return to arrow functions later in chapters. Arrow functions revisited. For now, we can already use arrow functions for one-line actions. Yeah, I have other interesting features. I'd like to know that. What interesting features that arrow functions have? No, we can already use arrow functions. For now, we can already use arrow functions for one-line actions and callbacks. Yeah, arrow functions are handy for simple actions, especially for one-liner. They can come in two flavors without curly braces. The arguments and expressions. The right side is an expression. This right side is an expression. The function evaluates it, and this is right side. Is an expression. The function evaluates it and returns the result. Parentheses can be omitted if there is only one single argument. Parentheses, okay. With curly braces. With curly braces, parentheses and curly braces. Brackets allows us to write multiple statements inside the function, but we need an explicit return to return something. Oh, sorry.ヨグスと申します。僕はヨグスと申します。あれです。कहाँ का है ये arrow functions? इसमें दिमागी घूम जाता भाई। प्रॉमिस से रीसिंग का भाई। लाते बाकीお願いします。それではよーふんふんふんふんふん क्या कर रहा है भाई? Oh. देखिए Indonesian Shui, not Indian. Yeah, special functions. Let's do this quickly. Oh, beautiful. Special JavaScript specials. This chapter briefly recaps the features of JavaScript that we have learned of by now. Pay special attention to subtle movements. Statements are delimited with a semicolon. Usually a line break is also treated as a delimiter, so that would also work. That's called automatic semicolon insertion. Sometimes it doesn't work for instances like this. Most code style guides agree that we should put a semicolon after each statement. Semicolons are not required after code blocks. Okay, after code blocks, and syntax constructs with them like loops. But even if we put an extra semicolon up somewhere, that's not an error. It will be ignored more in code structure. Strict mode. To fully enable all features of modern JavaScript, we should start script with ustrict. The directive must be at the top of a script or at the beginning of a function body. Without ustrict, everything still works. But some features behave in the old-fashioned compatible way. Yeah, without ustrict, everything still works, but some features behave in the old-fashioned compatible way. We generally prefer the modern behavior. Some modern features of the language, like classes that we'll study in the future, enable strict mode implicitly. More in the modern mode, ustrict variables can be declared using let constant cannot be changed. Var style we'll see later. A variable name can be. My eyes are fogged. Then a variable name can include letters and digits, but the first character may not be a digit. Characters dollar and underscore are but the first character may not be a digit. Okay, They can include digits though, but the first character cannot be the characters dollars and underscore are normal par on par with letters. Non-Latin, or what's a on par? On a par with. Is correct, please. In par with is grammatically and is not on par with to mean that two things are equal. On par with, on parallel, on par with to mean. Who the heck is this guy? To mean that two things are equal in quality, value, and status. On par with. To be characters. Dollar normal on par with letters. Okay, on par with letters, like same quality. Non-Latin alphabets and hieroglyphs are also allowed but commonly not used. Variables are dynamically typed. They can store any value. Let x is 5 and x is John. There are 8 data types. Number for both floating point and integer numbers. Second for integer numbers of arbitrary length. Number for both floating numbers and integer numbers. Begin for integer numbers. 4 of arbitrary length. Strings for strings. Booleans for logical values, true and false. Null, a type with a single value null, meaning empty or does not exist. Undefined, a type with a single value undefined, meaning not assigned. Object and symbol for complex data structures and unique identifiers. We haven't learned them yet. The type of operator gives the type of a value and two exceptions. Type of null is object, error in the language. Type of functions are treated specially. Type of null is object, okay, and type of function is functions. Functions are treated especially. Type of function is a function and type of null is an object, which is an error in the language. Interaction. We are using a browser as working environment, so basic UI functions will be interactions. Okay, prompt, question, and default. Ask a question and return either what the visitor enters or null if they click cancel. Confirm question, ask a question and suggest to choose between okay or cancel. The choice is returned. Alert, message, output the message. All functions are model. They pause the code execution. All functions are model. They pause the code execution and prevent the visitor from interacting with the page until they answer. For instance, like this: username prompt, your Alice is tea wanted. Confirm. Do you want some tea? No, I don't drink tea. I will not. I just want your. Sorry. JavaScript supports the following operators: arithmetic, regular, star, plus, minus, divide, also slash and percentage. For the remainder, this is for the remainder and this is for the power of n. What you call that? There's another word that you use for the exponentiation. Okay, double star for power of a number. The binary plus concatenate strings, and if any operand is a string, and if any of the operands is a string, the other one is converted to the string as well. Like their assignment, there is a simple assignment. A equal B and combine ones like this. What's that? A multiplied by 3. Bitwise. Bitwise operators work with 32-bit integers at the lowest bit level. See the dogs where they are needed. Bitwise operators works with 32-bit integers at the lowest bit level. See the dogs where they are needed.徹夜していましたね。夜ごとしました。夜ごとしました。昨年じゃない。昨夜は徹しました。徹してましてね。क्या बोल रहा है? हाँ बारे दिल धड़कना ही नहीं बंद हो रहा है. कितना डरता हूँ यार मैं. अब सच है पॉसिबल. Cheating. Bitwise operators. ちょっと待ってね。再び再読み込みじゃなくてタブを複製するんだよ。Bitwise operator. What the fuck is that? Basic operators. What is Bitwise? मैंने तो नहीं देखा है Bitwise कहाँ था. Bitwise. Short, modify and assign operators exist. Modify in place. Short, modify and assign. Like modify and then assign. Operators exist for all arithmetic and bitwise operators. Okay, let's see. Such operators have the same precedence as normal assignment, so they run after most of the calculations. Okay, conditional. The only operator with 3 parameters. Condition, result A, result B. If condition is true, returns result A, otherwise result B. Condition also only parameter with 3, like only operator with 3 parameters, or what you call that? 2 operands. Operands? No. Logical operator, that's like 3 parameters. Okay, logical operator, logical and or perform short circuit evaluation and then return the value where it's stopped. Not necessary, true, false. Logical not converts the operand to boolean. Logical not converts the and returns the value where it's stopped. Not necessarily true or false. Logical not converts the operand to boolean type and returns the inverse value. Okay, it converts. Logical not converts the operand to boolean type and returns the inverse value. Nullish coalescing operator. The nullish operator, nullish coalescing operator. Coalescing, you know, like to do that. Okay, to come together to form one larger group. Okay, substance. For nullish coalescing operator, the nullish coalescing operator provides a way to choose a defined value from a list of variables. The result of A, B is A unless The result of A, B is A unless it's null or undefined, then B. The result of A nullish B is A unless it's null or defined, and then B. Okay, like it's a null. And if the value is not null and undefined, it's gonna return it. Otherwise, the last value. Okay. Brum comparison equality check. For values of different types, converts them to a number except null and undefined that equal each other and nothing else. Yeah, equality check. ちょっと待ってください。JavaScript スペシャルですね。そうですね。コッドクオリティ、transpires the object to primitive object based hooks. BTX, I think I'm not. Data types. Data types पुनः बना दो. ये क्या है? पुनः बना दो data types. Code quality ही कहाँ? But code quality नहीं फर्क पड़ता मेरे को. Ninja code. Are you ninja? Are you a ninja code? Are you a ninja? I'm not a ninja. Equality check. For a value different types. For value of different types, convert them to a number except null or undefined that equal each other and nothing else. They are being converted to numbers. Like, yeah, equality check for values of different types. For values of different types. Converts them to a number except null and undefined that equal each other and nothing else. So these are equal. Other comparisons convert to a number as well. The strict equality operator doesn't do the conversion. It doesn't do the conversion. Different types always mean different values. So values null and undefined are special. They are equal. So values null and undefined are special. They are equal each other but don't equal anything else. Greater less comparisons compare strings character by character. Greater less comparisons compare string character by parallel. Greater less comparison compare strings character by character. Other types are converted to a number. Other operators. There are few others like a comma operator, basic operator, maths, comparison, local object operators, knowledge collecting operator, other operator like that. Loops. We covered 3 types of loops: while condition, do while, and then for let for loop. Okay, the variable declared in for let loop is visible only inside the loop, but we can also omit let and reuse an existing variable. Directives: break and continue also allowed to exit the loop. Break and continue, exit the loop, and current iteration in the continue. Use labels to break nested loops. Detail in loop by for live variable. Later we'll study more types of loops to deal with objects. Yeah, chotto matte ne. Array methods dagedo. Arrow functions nandane. Why don't you shut up, man? Arrow functions revisited. This thing. Advanced working with functions. इस पे भी आ जाऊंगा मैं. सब पे आके जाऊंगा मैं. ये सब के बारे में पढ़ा है मैंने. ये मैप भी पढ़ा है मैंने. मैप एंड सेट. मतलब इसमें नहीं पढ़ा लेकिन वीक मैप वीक सेट ये भी कर देंगे अभी सब कर दूंगा मैं. ये सब कर दूंगा मैं. पहले मैं ये ऑब्जेक्ट को मारूंगा. डेटा टाइप को मार दूंगा. ये तो इसको पहले मारूंगा. पहले फिर इसको भी मार दूंगा मैं. ये गया फिर हटा क्लासेस को नहीं बढ़ना. हटा फिर इसको मारूंगा. आके इसको पकड़ के दूंगा. फिर इसको भी दो दूंगा थोड़ा. 向き合ってください。音声の確認をします。ユクスと申します。私の声は聞こえておりますでしょうか？画像、映像や音声の問題はないでしょうか？緊張している。तो फर्क पड़ता ही नहीं भाई।ありません。はい、ホームシックになります。いやー、それは嘘で。いやー、全然家事できない。あります。ありますよ。 見えない。見えないよ。中便。I'm gonna have to replace my eyeballs. Oh, I'm going blind. These two balls, they don't have any meaning now. Can't see shit. Can't say anything. Shit.あなたの長所と短所を教えてください。Prototypes inheritance. What's an inheritance? Prototype and inheritance. Inheritance. Ah. don't know what this. How do they use this anymore? No, I'm not. Oh, my writing doesn't use prototype. Okay, this may. Okay, let's see this. The switch construct. The switch constructor can replace multiple if checks. Yeah, it can. Energy arimasu. Energy. 多いですが、全く問題なく食べられます。食べられます。食べられます。食べられます。食べられます。食べられます。ちょっと考えさせてください。ちょっと考えさせてください。エリーメンやってくれ。日本人の友人から襲われました。Sorry. Oh, where was I? The switch construct can replace multiple if checks if use equality. Like it uses equality, strict equality for comparisons. Okay, yeah, you get it. The strict equality operator doesn't do conversion. It doesn't do conversion. Different types always mean different values for it. Values null and undefined are special. They equal each other and don't equal anything else. Sorry. Age prompt, age case boom case break default default functions. We cover 3 ways to create a function. Create a function in JavaScript, function declaration, the function in the main code block, like the function sum 1 2 3 4 like that. Function expression, the function in the context of an expression, the sum, a variable, and then this function actual boom. Okay, add a function is just like that. It's cool. Or multi-line syntax is like that. You need a rhythm for that. Without arguments, it's going to be like that, and with arguments, okay. Functions may have local variables, those declared inside its body or its parameter list. Yeah, functions may have local variables, those declared inside its body or its parameter list. Such variables are only visible inside the function. Parameters can have default values, function sum a, b. Functions always return something. If there is no return statement, then the result is undefined. Okay, if there is no return statement, the result is undefined. Bada boom. More to come. That was a brief list of JavaScript features. As of now, we have studied only basics. Furthermore, in the tutorial, we'll find more specials and advanced features of JavaScript. So beautiful, clear, simple yet deep tutorial. Thank you. Shut up. Don't comment. Don't make these kind of comments. Arrow functions revisited. Let's revisit it, okay? Let's revisit arrow functions. Arrow functions are not just a shorthand for writing a small stuff. Writing small stuff. They have some very specific useful features. JavaScript is full of situations where we need to write a small function that's executed somewhere else. Yeah. JavaScript is full of situations where we need to write a small function that's executed everywhere else. Somewhere else, sorry. What was that? For instance, array dot for each function. Function is executed by for each for every array item. Set timeout function. Function is executed by the built-in scheduler. There are more. It is a body spirit. Need to write a small function that executes it somewhere else. Okay. It is in the very spirit of JavaScript to create a function and pass it somewhere. And in such functions, yaar, chup karna yaar. Very loud, very loud. It's in the very spirit of JavaScript to create a function and pass it somewhere. And in such functions, we usually do not. And in such functions, we do not leave the current context. In such functions, we do not want to leave the current context. That's where arrow functions come in handy. Arrow functions have no this. As we remember from the chapter object methods, this. As we remember from the chapter object methods, this. Arrow functions do not have this. Okay, arrow functions do not have this. I don't know. I guess I might have to. I might have to read these first. Fuck! Fuck! Debugging in the browser. Hut मैं नहीं read कर रहा इसको. Coding or code must be clean and easy to read, but that's syntax here. Oh damn. Out of program. Oh, space. Woohoo, bara. Space between the arguments. Oh. Oh. That is oh. Oh. No space here. Yeah, that looks weird. If there is. Oh. Curly braces on the same line after the space. Oh. After the space. Ooh. There is a space. That's a space. Space like that. Space, okay. Curly braces. I don't get what this. Comments. Bad comments. This code will do this thing and that thing. Novice tend to use comments to explain what is the code. What is going on in the code like this, and who knows what else. Well, let's read this. Comments. As we know from chapter code structures, comments can be single line and multi-line. We normally use them to describe how and why the code works. At first sight, commenting might be obvious, but now novices and programmers often use them wrongly. Bad comments. Novices tend to use comments to explain what is going on in the code like this. Very complex code. But what is that? Very complex code. But in good code, the amount of such explanatory comments should be minimal. Seriously, the code should be easy to understand without them. There is a giant rule about them. If the code is unclear that it requires a comment, then maybe you should read it instead. Okay. Sometimes it's beneficial to replace a code piece with a function. Okay. Sometimes it's beneficial to replace a code piece with a function like yeah. We can just replace it with this shit. The better variant with the factorial, okay. Check if I is a prime number. Sorry. Now we can understand the code easily. The function itself becomes the comment. Such a code is self-descriptive recipe create functions. And if we have a long code sheet like this, here we add a whiskey, here we add juice, then it might be a better variant to refactor into functions like this. Add whiskey, add juice, and then it would like that. You know. Fine. Once again, functions themselves tell what's going on. There is nothing to comment. and also the code structure is better when split. It's clear and every function does when it takes and what it takes and what it returns. In reality, we cannot totally avoid explanatory comments. There are complex algorithms and there are smart tweaks for purposes of optimization, but generally, we should try to keep the code simple and self-descriptive. Okay, good comments. So explanatory comments are usually bad. Which comments are good? Describe the architecture. Provide a high level overview of components, how they interact. What's the control flow in the various situations? In short, the bird's view of the code. Provide a high level overview of components, how they interact. What's the control flow in the various situations? In short, the bird's eye view of the code. There is a special language UML to build high level architecture diagrams explaining the code. Definitely worth studying. UML. Unlimited modeling language. Unified modeling language. ये क्या है यार ये? कौन पढ़ रहा है इतना सारा? The unified modeling language is a general-purpose object-oriented visual modeling language that provides a way to visualize the architecture and design of a system, similar to the function of a blueprint. UML defines notation for 14 types of diagrams, which focuses on aspects such as behavior, interaction, and structure. The UML has a meta model defined by the OMG UML specification. The meta model defines the elements in an object-oriented model, such as classes or properties. It is essentially the same thing as meta modeling. However, what are you talking, man? Provide a high level overview of components, how they interact, what's the control flow in various situations. In short, the bird's view of the code. There is a special language to build high level architecture diagrams, explain the code. Definitely worth reading. Yeah. Document function, parameters, and users. There's a special syntax JS doc to document a function. Users, parameters, return value. JS doc is a markup language used to annotate and document JavaScript code. The comments can be processed by tools to produce documentation in formats such as HTML. The comments can be processed by tools to produce documentation in the format such as HTML. Some of the more popular annotation types used in modern JS docs. Author, developer's name. Annotation. Throw to do. Documents something that is missing and open. This specifies the. अरे मेरा बघरे क्या है? क्या है? कुछ भी बनाते हैं साले. Buku no ass. Claro. Good comments. So explanatory comments are usually bad. Which comments are good? Describe the architecture. Provide a high-level overview of the component. How they interact. What's the control flow in various situations? In short words, view of the code. There is a special language. UML to build high-level architecture diagrams. Explaining the. There is a special language UML to build high-level architecture diagrams. Explaining the code. Definitely worth studying. Yeah. Document function parameters and users. I've seen this one. There is a special syntax JS doc to document a function. Users, parameters, return values. Params. Oh, there's a special syntax JS doc. Oh, I've seen this one. JS doc to document a function. Users, parameter, params, number, return x raised to nth power, return x raised to nth power. Param number x, the number to raise, param number n, the power must be a natural number, return number x raised to the nth power. Like that. Doc. Param. Author, developer's name. Some of the most popular annotation tags used in Java modern JS doc are constructor. Marks a function as a constructor. Deprecated. Marks a method as deprecated. Exception. Synonym for throws. Exports. Identifies a member that is exported by the module. Param documents a method parameter. A data type indicator can be added between curly braces. Data type, okay, private signifies that a member is private. Returns document a result value. Synonym for returns return. C documents and association to another object. To do. No, to do documents something that is missing. Open. Oh, specifies the association to the another object. Specifies the type of the object to which the keyword this refers to within a function. Documents an exception thrown by a method. Provides a version number of a library. Such comments allow us to understand the purpose of the function and use it right way without looking at its code. And use it right way without looking at its code. By the way, many editors like WebStorm can understand them as well and use them to provide autocomplete and some automatic code checking. Also, there are tools like JSDoc3 that can generate HTML documentation from the comments. You can read more information about that. Getting started, a quick document is represents a verb constructor. Param string title, string title, string author of the book. Yeah, that is basic syntax example of a param. Know that JSDoc2 uses a dash. Use a documentation tag to describe the code constructor. Use a documentation tag to describe the code. What documentation? What's a documentation tag now? Constructor, an instance, I'm static. There is no way to directly access the inner function from here. Use a documentation tag to describe the code. मैं बहन से मेरे को बोल रहा क्या? मैं करूँगा सारा ही. Refer to this by link chat channel names. Oh, I need to learn this. That is cool. Arribas quedó. No me dio. Arribas quedó, tío. ありますけどवाला उन्होंने दो उन्होंने क्या बोल रहा है Such comments allow us to understand the purpose of the function and use it the right way without looking at its code. By the way, many editors like WebStorm. What's a WebStorm? It's an editor, WebStorm. JetBrains, the JavaScript and TypeScript IDE. Huh? What the heck? Claude code. Claude. That's an Indian guy. She's also Indian. No, she is. Oh, who is she? That's she. She looks black though. Who's he? He is from either Germany, Russia, or between Germany and Russia. I don't know. Chao Tran. Ciao. China? What are you trying to do, bro? Shut up. Okay, also there are tools like JSDoc 3 can generate HTML documentation for comments. You can read more information about JSDoc. Yeah, so this ne. 音声の確認をしますね。Why is the task solved this way? What's returned is important, but what's not returned may not be even more important to understand what's going on. Why is the task why is the task solved exactly this way? Like, what's written is important, but what's not written may be even more important to understand what's going on. Why is the task solved exactly this way? The code gives no answer. If there are many ways to solve the task, why this one, especially when it's not the most obvious one? Without such comments, the following situation is possible. You or your colleague open the code written some time ago and see that is suboptimal. You think how stupid I was then and how much smarter I'm now, and rewrite using the more obvious and correct variant. The urge to rewrite was good, but in the process you see that the more obvious solution is actually lacking. You even dimly remember why. Because you already tried it long ago, you revert to correct variant, but the time was wasted. Comments that explain the solution are very important. They have to continue development the right way. Any subtle feature of the code where they are used. If the code has anything subtle and counterintuitive, it's definitely worth commenting. Counterintuitive. Okay, you get it? You don't like that, okay? Something that goes against your gut feeling, common sense, and natural expressions. Intuitive अंतर क्या? Oh wow, ऐसा आना चाहिए है ना? Summary. If the code has anything subtle and counterintuitive, it's definitely worth commenting. As summary, an important sign of a good developer is the comments, their presence and even their absence. Good comments allows us to maintain the code well, come back to it after a delay, and use it more effectively. Comment thus overall architecture, high level view, function uses, important solutions. Comment this overall architecture, high level view, function uses, important solutions, especially when not immediately obvious. Like important solutions, especially when not immediately obvious. Avoid comments that tell how code works and why it does what it does. Put them in only if it's impossible to make the code so simple. Put them in only if it's impossible to make the code so simple and self-descriptive that it does not require them. Comments are also used for auto documenting tools like JS They read them and generate HTML docs or docs in another format. Another thing that's great to include in comments are URLs to wherever you found a solution to your coding problems online. I highly agree with this. Many times developers will copy your code from Stack Overflow or use code plan they found online. I find that it's always better to leave a reference to these findings, as Stack Overflow tends to have discussions around a given solution and their problem to solve. Also, likely other solutions, and possibly a better solution is available. Also, these discussions can lead to go testing ideas. This solution doesn't work on Safari because a reference to a code pen is really nice, since this code pen to a code pen. What the fuck is a code pen? A reference to a code pen is really nice, since this encapsulates the functionality and allows for quick testing to better understand what's going on. Other references are nice since they are likely to a blog or some free documentation. I really wish this was more of a standard overall. Basically it is, because who knows if the URL in the future works and displays the native information. The better way to understand the source code and document it is in the code comments. वो इंसान ही है भाई. What's a ninja code? Programmer ninjas of the past used these tricks to sharpen the mind of code maintainers. Learning without thought is labor lost. Thought without learning is perilous. What the fuck is that? Khatarnak. Perilous. Dangerous. Learning without thought is a labor lost. Learning without thought is labor lost. Thought without learning is perilous, dangerous, perilous. Who's gonna read this, man? This may be one of the best and most I've ever can. There's a comment. Oh, I had to debug something inside the jQuery source and knocked my head into that ternary nightmare line. Yes, the first example is from jQuery. What a headache that was. Now I'm really curious what that was. Bro, I searched it through ChatGPT, which gave me the same as you did 60 years ago. ये ज़्यादा बोलता है ये बंदा. No. Sí, morteことは. I would prefer this. No, जोこれ. Sides, lengths of a triangle. Length of first side, length of second side, length of sides, length of a triangle. Just a fraction, okay. Code Ninja. Learning without thought is labor lost. Thought without learning is perilous. Learning without thought is labor lost. Thought without learning is perilous. Programmer ninjas of the past used these tricks to sharpen the mind of code maintainers. Use these tricks to sharpen the mind of code maintainers. Code review gurus look for them in test tasks. Novice developers sometimes use them even better than programmer ninjas. Yeah, code review gurus look for them in the test tasks. What do you mean? Novice developers sometimes use them even better than programmer ninjas. Read them carefully and find out who you are, a ninja, a novice, or maybe a code review. Irony detected. Many try to follow ninja paths. Few succeed. Brevity is the soul of it. Make the code as short as possible. Show how smart you are. Let subtle language features guide you. For instance, take a look at this ternary operator. I is equal I. Then I. Now I is equal I. Inside this, like this. Like this, otherwise this. Taken from a well-known JavaScript library. Cool, right? What's cool about it? If I is equal I, then we do this. We correct this. We false this. If not, then 0. Cool, right? If you write like that, a developer who comes across this line and tries to understand what is the value of I, like what is the value of I is going to have a maritime, then come to you seeking for an answer. Tell them that shorter is always better. Initiate them into the paths of ninjas. The Tao hides in wordlessness. Only the Tao. What's a Tao now? Is well begun and well completed. Lao Dao, a Dao, decentralized autonomous organization is a community led by entity governed entirely by its members. Oh my lord, I'm losing my eyes. Fuck. Chilling. Hajimemashite. Yoku to moshimasu. क्या बता रहे हैं कोड निंजा? Brevity is the soul of it. What is the soul of it? Wait. The ability to use words in a clever and amusing way. Having a particular type of intelligence. Such boost. The fact of being clever intelligence. Brevity is the soul of it. Make the code as short as possible. Show how smart you are. Let subtle language features guide you. For instance, take a look at this ternary operator. Cool, right? If you write like that, a developer who comes across this line and tries to understand what is the value of I is going to have a merry time. Then come to you seeking for an answer. Oh, tell them the shorter is always better. Initiate them into the paths of ninjas. Ninja! One letter variable. The DAO hides in wordlessness. Only the DAO is well begun and well completed. Another way to code shorter is to use single letter variables names everywhere like A, B, C, A, B or C. Another way to code shorter to use single letter variable names everywhere like A, B, C. A short variable disappears in the code like a real ninja in the forest. No one will be able to find it using search of the editor. बहन के लंट क्या बता रहे हो? गलत बता रहे हैं ये लोग. Another way to code shorter is to use single letter variable names everywhere like ABC. A short variable disappears in the code like a ninja in the forest. No one will be able to find it using search of the editor, and even if someone does, they won't be able to decipher what the name A or B means. But there's an exception. A real ninja will never use I as the counter for loop anywhere but not here. Look around, there are many more exotic letters, for instance X or Y. An exotic variable as a loop counter is especially cool. If the loop body takes 1-2 pages, make it longer if you can. If a loop body takes 1-2 pages, make it longer if you can. Then if someone looks deep inside the loop, they won't be able to quickly find out that variable named X is the loop. Use abbreviations. क्या code sometimes written by experienced developers, maybe even more experienced than you. Follow some of them and your code will become full of surprises. Follow many of them, your code will become truly yours. No one would want to change it. Follow all and you will become a valuable lesson for younger developers for enlightenment. Use abbreviations. If the team forbids the use of one letter and vague names, shorten them. Make abbreviations. List, UA. Only the one with truly good intuition will be able to understand such names. Try to shorten everything. Only a worthy person should be able to uphold the developer. What? Only a worthy person should be able to uphold the development of your code. Shut up. Bro, my eyes are... cannot focus. It's blur. One letter variable. So only the soar high be abstract. The great square is cornerless. The great vessel is the last complete. The great note is clarified sound. The great image has no form. While choosing a name, try to use the most abstract word like obs, data, value, items, elements, and so on. The ideal name for a variable is data. Use it everywhere you can. Indeed, every variable holds data, right? But what to do if data is already taken? Try value. It's also universal after all. A variable eventually gets a value. Name a variable by its type, string, num. Give them a try. A young initiative may wonder, are such names really useful for a ninja? Indeed, they are. Sure, the variable names. Sure, the variable name still means something. It says what's inside the variable, a string, a number, or something else. But when an outsider tries to understand the code, they'll be surprised to see that there are actually no information at all, and will ultimately fail to alter your well thought code. The value type is easy to find out by debugging. But what's the meaning of the variable? Which string number does it store? There's just no way to figure out without a good meditation. But what if there are no such names? Just add a data 1, item 2, element 5. Attention test. Only a truly attentive programmer should be able to understand your code. But how to check that? One of the ways use similar variable names like data and data. Mix them where you can. You check, read of such code becomes impossible. And when there is a typo, we are stuck for a long time. We are stuck for a long time to drink tea. Smart synonyms. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. What's a Tao? The name that can be named is not the eternal name. Using similar names for same thing same things makes life more interesting and shows your creativity to public. For instance, consider function prefixes. If a function shows a message on the screen, start it with display message. And then if another function shows on the screen something else like a username, start with show. Hey, what's that? Insinuate. What the fuck? To suggest something unpleasant in an indirect way. Insinuate. To suggest something indirect way. Insinuate that there is a subtle difference between such functions. While there is none. Make a pact with fellow ninjas of the team. Make a pact with the fellow ninjas of the team. If John starts showing a function with display in his code, then Peter could use render. Pain. Note how much more interesting and diverse the code became, and how the hat trick. Now the hat trick. For two functions with important differences, use the same prefix. For instance, the function print page will use a printer, and the function print text will put the text on the screen. Let the unfamiliar reader think well over similarly named functions. Print message. Where does it put the print message? To a printer or on the screen? To make it really shine, print message should output it. What the fuck? Once the whole is divided, the parts need names. There are already enough names. One must know when to stop. Add a new variable only when absolutely necessary. Instead, use existing names. Just write new variables into. In a function, try to use only variables paused as parameters. That would make it really hard to identify what exactly in the variable now. And also where it comes from. The purpose is to develop the intuition and memory of a person reading the code. A person with weak intuition would have to analyze code line by line and track the changes through every code branches. An advanced variant of the approach is to covertly replace the value with something alike in the middle of the loop. Covertly is an adverb that means acting secretly, covertly, superstitiously, surreptitiously, doing something to intentionally avoid notice. Okay, enough. Put underscores and 4 variable names like. It would be great. Come on. Show your love. Let everyone see a name like super element, mega frame, nice item. Indeed, from one hand, something is super mega nice, but may desire overlap our side effects everywhere. There are functions that looks like they don't. Jana. Looks like they don't choose anything. Is ready, check permission, find tags. They are assumed to carry out calculations. find and return data without changing anything outside of them. In other words, without side effects. Really beautiful trick to add a useful action to them besides main task. Another way to surprise is return a non-standard result. Show your original thinking. Let the call of check permission return not true false but a complex object with the result of it. Functions by what's returned. Don't limit. For instance, a function could, besides check the email for correctness, show an error message and pass the re-enter. Don't limit the functions. Function by what's written in what's name. Joining several actions into one protects your code from reuse. Imagine another developer wants to only check the email and not output any message. Well, does that both will not suit them, so they don't break your meditation by asking anything. All pieces of advice above are from real code, sometimes written by experienced developers. Follow some of them and your code will become full of surprises. Follow many of them, your code will become truly yours. No one would want to change it. Follow all and your code will become a valuable lesson for younger developers looking for Ninja code like reads the site for the only word. I read this like 2 years. We are getting almost every coding style guide. We shouldn't use lol. Lol. That's what I was wondering. Hilarious. What an irony. Is this how 10x engineering like code? Sometimes use them even better than for camera. Ninjas. This obviously an irony. I really enjoy I knocked my head into the Eternity Nightmare line. Yes, the first one is wrong. What an headache that. Now I'm really curious what that line does wrong. Haha. Gee. What's a mocha? Oh, she. Fuck it, man. Why do we need tests? Automated testing will be used in further tasks when it is widely. Hmm. I don't know about that. Oh. Sandoman. I'm Sandoman. I'm Sandoman. It doesn't matter. Hey, animal. Spinner. स्ट्रेस बहुत होता है.友達になること。なりますよ、なります。Don't shake. I'm sick of home. なんだって あれはね、Oh my god, I'm fucking honest. Oh my fuck lord. Fuck. Fuck, man. Yeah. Shit, man. What am I, bruh? I hate it. God damn, I'm scared of everything. Data structures and algorithms, especially programmer looking to solve problems efficiently. Understanding and utilizing TS is especially important. Especially important when you're God freaking I wanna freak you. I wanna freak you. Every time I close my eyes. Every time I close my eyes, I wake up feeling quite horny. Every time I close my eyes, I wake up feeling fucking horny. Oh, 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 tonight, tonight, you won't be sorry. La 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 la. Every time I close my eyes. What else? 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 Got that one, I got that one. Ah. Every time I close my eyes, I wake up feeling fucking horny. I wake up feeling fucking horny. मार्कशीट लेके तो आया था ना। हाँ ले गया। यारちょっとTonight you won't be sorry, 'cause I'm gonna want you. Eyes out of my eyes. Data structures and algorithms is an essential skill for अरे यार पढ़ने का मन नहीं कर रहा भाई. Tonight you won't be sorry. Tonight you won't be mine. You will be mine. You are my type. You do this. For this. Params unknown value. If this is like params parameter, this is unknown, and then it's going to return a boolean. It's going to return a boolean. It's going to return a boolean. And params is value. That's cool. I'm gonna learn this. Okay, JavaScript is a dynamically typed language, which means that types of variables can change at runtime. It means the types of variables can change. Dynamically typed language, which means the types of variables can change at runtime. Many interview questions involve recursively traversing values that contain different value types. Many interview questions involve recursively traversing values and values that contain different value types, and each type may require different handling. Now, different code is needed to iterate over an array versus an object. Code is needed to iterate over an array and object. Understanding JavaScript types is crucial to solving questions like deep clone and deep echo. Implement the following utility function to determine the types of primitive values. Return true if value is boolean, false otherwise. That's the value is equal to true. Yeah, that's fine. True value is boolean. Oh no. Wow, I don't know, man. How could I write this? Return if the value is boolean. Like, if value is equal to true, or if value is not equal to true or false. Is that right? Shit it. If type of value is equal to boolean and true, is that good code? How does it? Yeah, I'm a ninja. Data types. Listen in. Oh no. Oh yes. Type of null. Boolean. कैसे निकलता है? Boolean. That's Boolean. So it's going to be like that. That should be like that. Okay, Boolean true, otherwise false. I don't need any without that. Is number value written true? Is a number false, otherwise. Note that and not a number is considered a number. Huh? Not a number. Not a number. Actually, not a number कहाँ पे है? Where is not a number? Onion. A computational sticky. Besides regular numbers, they are called special numbers. Not a number. We should only. Should be number, not a number. Not a number, number here. That is gonna be a number. I'm not supposed to solve it while looking at the my return true if value is null, false otherwise. A value is null. A string. Isn't it simple? A symbol. I'm not sure about a symbol. I have not. Symbol is symbol, right? Undefined. Undefined. What is true? What? हाँ देख लिया क्या देख लिया क्या देख लिया क्या देख लिया console true expected true received undefined. Or do I have to return like that over? That is kinda. His boolean, his number is fine. The null is null. Expected true received false. His value null. null. Actually, and we can do like this.ちょっと待って。and dollar तेरा बाप लगती है इधर dollar is not equal to undefined because null and undefined are yeah. Why string is a string and symbol? What about undefined? Shouldn't here I do the same? Like it's undefined, not a number. What if I do this and value is not equal to undefined? Null. Wrong answer, 4 failed, 12 passed. Is null. Expected false, received true. Is null. The value is null, okay, and the value is not undefined. That is true. I should count like that. Chotto matta. Then we have same problem here. Oh, null is the only one. Undefined, no null. Oh, then undefined. Now this kind of thing. Oh, that. Oh.そうだね。ちょっと待ってください。これがなんだ wrong, 1 failed, 5 passed, 6 total. 1 failed, false is null. どういうことなんだよ。Is null. What have I done? Have I done something wrong? Undefined. No. Expected true, received false. Everything is fine. Total 15 passed. Oh, return or double spacing is not good, I guess. No good. No. Galat. Value is undefined, okay? And value is not null. Yeah, that is fine. If value is null, like type of value is null, okay, and type of value is not undefined. So that's true. I don't find any. I don't see any. Like I should object dot is equality. Now the do what's this? Expect is null. No. No. undefined theもう一度お願いできますでしょうか。よろしいでしょうか。Okay, let's do it again, and this time I change this to this, and this to this only. Oh my fuck, Lord. Type of value is not equal to undefined. Of course, but then type of value is null. Null, that's fine. It should be that. And it should not be that. What's null? And it should. And null is 0, right? And I don't. What am I doing? I don't know. And value should not be 0. What have I done? Shit. That's so cool. That's so cool. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? God damn it. God damn it. Sorry for this. What's wrong with null? The null value, especially the value that does not belong to any of the type described. It forms a separate form of null, which contains only the null value. Let is null. In JavaScript, null is not a reference to an existing object. In JavaScript, null is not a reference to a non-existing object or a null pointer. Like in some other languages, it's just a special value which represents nothing, empty value. The code above, okay. But they are both equal to, like, but we don't recommend doing that. What? Yeah. One uses null to assign an empty or unknown value to a variable, while null is null, right? Type of null is object. Object to dane. So yaro. Omae. Null janai no ga. Ja ne no ga yo. Null wa object to. How can I do that then? The type of null is an object. Shit. Shit. Okay, I can do like this. Okay. If the type of value is undefined, okay, type of value is object. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Oh, it worked? Still, it's fucking true. False expected and received true. I know, like, we're gonna have problems over here too. Nice. And then we're gonna have this. Oh my lord. the value is not undefined. Like null and undefined are null returns object. This is an error. Returns a string. Oh यार object के लिए भी तो होगा ना. Oh, what if I just do that? Oh, that should pass it. बंदा हो रहा है. Hey. 働いてみたいですね。Oh, there is a thing missing. I'm missing one thing. Undefined is undefined. No. There's one more thing that I learned. Data types, type conversion. Like comparisons. I learned about comparisons here. String comparison. Oh, yeah. There's a name. For a non-strict, there's a special rule. They are two sweet couples. They equal to each other, but not any other value. Should be equal to undefined. Value should be equal to undefined. For a strict, values are different because each of the type is different. Oh, so I can do this. Value should be like undefined, okay? And values type should be object. I should do it. That doesn't work. Value, okay, undefined. And type of value is object. Oh my lord. What? Ah, that is so stupid. I should not be valuing it like that. Do this guy. Waka. Applying to Boolean expression in a technical interview in Tokyo, China interview will put your request on member who do not understand the expression. Oh my god. Is Boolean type of value. Look at the expression type of value already evaluates to a Boolean true. Worry. If this runs true, returns true. Bro. Damn, I'm such a dumb guy. I don't need to do like that. Like if it's true, then it's true. Okay, if it's number, it's true, false. True, false. Okay, and that's true, false already. Okay, that was that's fine. It's fine. It's fine with you. Fine with you. That already evaluates to a Boolean value. Yo. It's 2 a.m. Ah, my lord. Fuck. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Take my soul. Please be there. Oh yeah, it's there. Arigatou gozaimasu. Erot, trap, the logical impossibility. Type returns a string representing as a type. A variable alongside I put the string undefined and string object your possible with the value to false. You are correct. The type of null returns object. This is a famous and fixable history propaganda. Because type of with a symbol broken null, you cannot use it here. Furthermore, null is to lose equality, but is false equality. We check if null, do not check its type. We check its identity. We must compare the value directly against the word, the null keyword using the strict equality. Abandon type of use strict equality to compare. Oh, I can do that. First of all, let me. Okay, directly I like value. I can like directly null. Though that's my lord. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. But that is not gonna return. Okay, that's gonna return null only. What? That's a null is null. Okay. Null is null. Both are null. We are not typing. Comparison null. Null equals null. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Null undefined are converted to numbers. Becomes 0 while undefined becomes not a number. For maths, the other comparison. Here, sweet couples, they each equal to okay, but not. These values are different. Become each of them is a different type. The type. No worry. It cannot differentiate between 0 from false. The same thing here. Different types are converted to numbers. They are converted to numbers. Different types with equality check. An empty string just false becomes a 0. What to do if you like to differentiate 0 from false? A string equality of the checks with type conversion. We have a type conversion, and with that we have a number conversion. In other words, A and B are different types. Then false returns and attempts to convert them. False because the types are different. Oh, ちょっと待った。ちょっと待った。だけど、あれこう。what a beginner I am. Oh, didn't I? Shut up, guys. I finished it. Oh my god, and now I might have to. Now I might have to. I might have to. Oh my lord, Allah. My code is there. Okay. Tab fixette kona. So yarro. Nanda ye kuriyaro kono yarro. Honjitsu wa yoroshiku onegai itashimasu. Onegai desu ne. Honjitsu wa yoroshiku onegai itashimasu. Ponnin nanda ore. Ponnin. Oh, have I done it? I fucked it up. Itori grashi punta che Lord. Shut down. なんだよ。अरे बारे JavaScript とテクノスクリプト。पूर्णांक स्क्रिप्ट तो ई का पूर्णांक स्क्रिप्ट बी का पूर्णांक स्क्रिप्ट आज तो खाई देंगे आज तो आंकड़ेなんだってば勘弁してくれなんだよこれなんだよこれwait a minute right Over to React, folks. I definitely have done a few. That is not. Use Boolean. None to. Count the 9 down in the name. Yeah.誰なんだこれそれではお願いいたします。Come on, settings can't basically. Sitting on this digital passport, security, cyber security, online data secure サイト設定なんですね。水中カメラもないんでサーバークッキーなんですね。サーバー、サードバーのクッキーのブルーエレメントक्या है अभी का पूर्ण में डालूँ इसको Security なんですね。プライバシーガイド。サイトの設定のけど、クッキーのサイトデータ。なんか、サイトの設定、ダウンロード歴式。いや、これでどうこれでどうだよね。まあ、それ。I think it was this. Oh, I can just do that. If it's not that, then I'm fucked. I'm really fucked. Okay, so it's not that. Oh, it's definitely not that. Hello, finally. イージーボールなんだってね。ありがとう。This looks cool. Yeah, lift. Great front end.どこतीन अकाउंट बना लिए मैंने पागल की तरह। अभी बंद कर दिया कोई तेरी माँ। どういうことなんだよ。誰なんだよ。お前、おめえ。OK。OK。リアクトホックじゃなくて、JavaScript なんだよ、お前。JavaScript。OK、タイプリリースかな。これやった。Best. That's the best solution. What you think about it? 10 minutes, it took me 10 hours. But I ain't doing that, man. I look so stupid. I'll do these. Yeah, 僕も自分の IT 企業を立ち上げたいと思いますね。立ち上げたいんですね。Typing an espresso app, you espresso. 自分に任された仕事を完全に成し遂げたいと思いますね。成し遂げてチームに貢献したいと思いますね。だから今日はこれでいいよ。よろしくないです。よろしくないです。よろしいって。くそやろ。OK、バイバイ。バイバイ。